And I hope now you can see the slide. And this is a book titled The Twilight Saga, Exploring the Global Phenomenon, edited by Claudia Bucifero. Now this is the book cover. This book is in the hardbound. I have also a copy of this book. So there are certain things that you need to understand. Now the Twilight Saga, that is the main title of this book. And exploring the global phenomenon, this is the subtitle. Generally title and subtitle, they are separated through the marks of colon. But here, in order to create a stylistic effect, in order to make it more appealing, because you can see a red rose and some blood is coming out from red rose. So to make it to sensationalize the cover of the book, so that the readers, the audience, will be more attracted to read this book. That's why they have done this stylistic uh, modifications. And you find also in the main title, like the article "the" is whole capitalized, then "saga" is also capitalized. All letters in the word "saga" they are capitalized, but this twilight is all small. So again, these are stylistic effects done by a writer or a cover designer in this case. Now, when it comes to sub-theme, then exploring the global phenomenon. Now here you can see that E of exploring is capital, G of global is capital, and P of phenomenon is capital, but the is all small. So you have studied in your morphology functional word and content word. So when we write some phrase or sentence, we use both functional word and content word. Here, auxiliary the is the functional word, and rest of the words, exploring is a verb, global is an adjective, phenomenon is a noun. So they are content words. So when you write a title, then generally when you are writing an academic paper, then the first letter of the function content word is capitalized. So here again they follow the same pattern. Now it is edited by. So this is not an authored book, it is an edited book. So there is a difference between an authored book and edited book. When a book is authored by, then it is not written authored by, but simply the name of the writer is written. But when it comes to edited by, that means Claudia Bucifero is the editor. And you will find other papers, you will find papers written by different writers in this book. So you will find Claudia Bucifero's paper as well as papers written by other writers. But who has edited those papers, collected those papers, shortlisted those papers? That is Claudia. So this is the basic information about this book. And in this book, as I said, there are various papers. So I have selected one such paper, and we will read that entire paper. We will not read that paper in terms of what that paper talks about, but our focus will be that what type of language, what type of sentences the writer has used, because you are also going to write a review by the end of this semester of at least two books. And and at the same time you will also write in the next semester a dissertation. So dissertation will be of 50 pages, 60 pages, 70 pages. So you need to know how to write something, you need to know how to describe something, you need to know how to cite something, and you also need to know how to make your research writing argumentative. So this will be this presentation, and I know that this presentation will go for several weeks, but you will come to know that how you can also write a quality paper, an academic paper. So I have given this presentation the title Reading the Twilight Saga, a Critical Study. Now I hope that all of you must have watched this movie Twilight Saga. So there are in this series there are various movies, and you know that there is a vampire family uh, in this series, and how a vampire or how a girl is in love with a vampire, and the entire thing. I have watched this entire series several times a few years back, so I am quite thorough with the storyline, with the plot, with the dialogues, and there are certain songs as well in this movie. So if you have not watched this movie till date, some of you, I hope that all of you must have watched, but still, as if any of you have not watched, then you can watch it. It is available. It's a very famous series. So you also find like vampires is like one family, then wolves, fine, werewolves, there is another family like this. So lots of things are there. So good vampires, bad vampires, these things are there. Good people, like as we have good people, bad people in this. So what is the title of this chapter one? uh, that is actually chapter 1, not chapter 2. If we if we exclude introduction, otherwise it is chapter 2. So the title is mythic themes. Now what is mythic? Something that is not history. So history is factual, but mythic is not factual. So opposite of history is mythic. So mythic themes, then archetypes. Now archetypes is like something that is a pattern. That is a pattern that create a pattern, and they have some sameness that we have. So we have archetypes and metaphors. Metaphors, you already know what is a metaphor. So we have a replacement substitution of this, like a lover is saying to his beloved that you are my moon. Now you are my moon is a metaphor, like or 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 the lover can also say you are like my moon, fine, or you are my rose, or you are like my rose. So like is an example of simile, but when there is no word like as and like, and direct replacement is there, then we have metaphors. Now this is the introduction of this chapter: mythic themes, archetypes, and metaphors. In this, as you can see, this is the first paragraph, and I have colored different sentences um, differently using different colors. So that's why it works as highlighting the text. So what is the first sentence? Let me read it for you. The Twilight Saga has captured the imagination of millions of people worldwide, transcending cultural, national, and linguistic barriers. Now, the first thing, this is one sentence, and the first thing is Twilight, that is italicized. So, something that is a work, a book, or a movie, that is to be italicized. This is the first information that you get from this first sentence. And what type of sentence is this? The Twilight Saga has captured the imagination of millions of people worldwide, transcending cultural, national, and linguistic barriers. It is a general statement, very general statement, and this statement is simply based on observation. Like something is famous, and if you want to describe that thing, you make a general statement. Something is in fashion, and if you want to say about this thing, then such type of sentence you will write. So Since Twilight Saga uh, became a cult in a sense, like many people they watched this movie many times, fine, and it was a huge hit. So that so based on that, and we have read this thing in various newspapers, fine, and then when you have um, this record of like famous movies, when we talk about, or when it comes to various awards that are associated with the movie, so then all these things are responsible for making such type of a statement that Twilight Saga has captured imagination of millions of people worldwide, transcending cultural, national, and linguistic barriers. We know that most of the Indians they are not English speaking. So, but this movie is like an American movie, a Hollywood movie, and this movie it became very popular a few years back. So again, transcending linguistic barrier. Then Hollywood is in America, Bollywood is in India. So again, transcending national barriers and cultural barriers as well, because vampires, werewolves, they are they are mythic themes in US. But let's say werewolf and vampires, they are not very popular in India. We do not have any mythic relation with when it comes to vampire and werewolf. So again, like three things: cultural, national, and linguistic barriers, and this movie is transcending, going beyond these barriers. This is the first starting, and when you write about something, then you can also start writing about very general. But now, when you write about very general or commonsensical observation, then what the writer is doing now, writer is posing a question. Now, what is this question? But how can this extraordinary popularity be explained? Now, this type of question is known as rhetorical question, because you hear what is the difference between an ordinary question and a rhetorical question? That rhetorical questions are answered by you. So you raise a question and you answer it. So this is again a technique, and why writers generally use this technique. Writers, they use this technique because they want to attract the attention of the audience. The first statement is very general, and you can't make such type of statements in void, fine. So you can't make these statements without supporting facts and figures. So that's why it becomes essential to pose a question, and here posing the question is in the in a rhetorical manner. So this is a rhetoric question, and the important thing is the cohesion it is creating, and what cohesion it is creating with the word but. Now, but is another important word. So but is a cohesive marker here. So you are saying something, and now you are posing a question against it. So the but is generally used for against. So like you mentioned, you yourself mentioned one general statement, one general observation, but you are also not satisfied with this observation, with this statement, because it is not supported by facts and figures. So that's why using but, you are raising a question: how can this extraordinary popularity be explained? So there is no doubt about this extraordinary popularity, but again, you need to explain it. So everything must be explained when once you are writing an academic paper. Now you are answering this, you are raising the question and you are answering it. And what is your answer? Over the years, the question has been posed often. Now, over the years, the question has been posed often. Again, what you are clarifying, you are telling something about the question, that I am not the first time, you are not the first time posing this question, but over the years the question has been posed often, has been posed. So this present perfect that you are using has been posed in a passive form, has been posed often. And although is again this cohesive marker that you are using. So these little words are very important. But, and second word is although, the series has been analyzed from various perspectives. Again, present perfect you are using in the passive form, the series. Now you are talking about this Twilight Saga. So again, you are not repeating the same word. So you are not repeating Twilight Saga again, but you are using your common sense, and you know that there is a substitution. If I use series, then series refers to Twilight Saga. So the meaning is understood. So you are using substitutions. You are not repeating your words, and it shows that you know many words. Your vocabulary is not limited. Although the series has been analyzed from various perspectives, there is no clear answer. Right. Now you have raised the question. You have talked about that question, but still you are saying that there is no clear answer. So you are justifying your raising question, that this question has been posed often, and this series has been analyzed from various perspectives, but still there is no clear answer. So in a way you are justifying that why you are writing an academic paper on an overly researched topic. You said like hundreds of people have written about it, but still there is no clear answer. That's why this this academic paper is also valid. So I am not just doing a copying and the copying of copying. So I'm not in the act of copying and recopying and then copying something, but I'm just adding to the already available stock of knowledge, because there is no clear answer. So this is how you can start a solid start, where there is a rhetorical question, where is very general observation, then you talk about your question and you also provide answer. Now, what is more, next thing that is important here, the next thing is there are certain writers mentioned. That means whatever you are saying is again not something that you that is not supported, with facts. Now here there is one work by Wilson. Now this is in the MLA style sheet. So generally when you write, or when you will write your dissertation or review, you will follow Chicago style sheet. But this paper is particularly written in MLA style sheet. So generally studies which are related to humanities, they are cited in MLA style sheet. But since there is a pattern we follow in this university, so we follow Chicago style sheet. Chicago style sheet is a bit different from this. So here what you have mentioned, now Wilson 2011, that means Wilson is the surname, and 2011, and you are mentioning that the previous studies, or like the series has been analyzed from various perspectives. Now you are not mentioning all the perspective, but you are mentioning who have conducted, or some of them who have conducted this study. So Wilson is one such person, then Click is another such person, then Aubrey is another such person, and Bam Moravitz is another such person. Fine. So they three are there: Click, Aubrey, and so there is 2010. That means three people. Then Jones in 2009, then Housel and Wisniewski in 2009. So House and Wisniewski, like two people, they have worked on. So this is how you can write, and you can see that this information is written in the round brackets that you have written. So this is how. Another important thing that you can see here is semicolon. So one work is separated by other with semicolon. So this is one work, then semicolon, dot and comma, dot and comma, dot and comma. So this is how you can do the citing thing, particularly in MLA style sheet. Full stop. An argument. Now comes an argument. Now this is very important thing. These words must come when you write an introductory paragraph. For example, the word pose, fine, analyze. These are very important words when it comes to perspectives. So these are very important words. Once you write a paragraph, introductory paragraph, you must cross question yourself whether these words are coming or not. Here post is coming, fine, it's a very formal word. Analyze, it is directly related to research, fine. Perspective, directly related to research writing. So similarly, an argument, so that means this research is not simply a paraphrasing, it is argumentative. An argument commonly put forth states that Twilight, again Twilight is in italics because it's the name of the work. Twilight success is the result of large marketing campaigns tailored to fit the sensibilities of vulnerable populations such as women and teens. Now again, you are making a very general observation, like what people talk about, what people say. So an argument, but it is in the form of an argument. An argument commonly put forth. That means it is not a solid argument. It is not a foolproof argument, but it is like a commonly put forth states that Twilight success is the result of large marketing campaigns. This is one thing, tailored to fit the sensibilities of vulnerable populations. Again, it's a biased view because you think that women are vulnerable. Like, who is vulnerable? Easily hurt. Someone who can be easily hurt physically or emotionally. So again, you are using such deliberately you are using this thing because you want to break the myth. That's why you are using this thing. So this is again a way, you are putting this thing in the form of an argument, but you know, like, this is not actually an argument, but you want to later on demolish this entire argument, that to fit the sensibilities of vulnerable populations such as women and teens. So this is again, you are putting something that is a biased view. Deliberately you are putting yet. Now yet is again an important word, and this is again a cohesive marker here. Yet, as Melissa A. Click, Jennifer Stevens Aubrey, and Elizabeth Ben Morawitz. Now you can see, when you are citing, then you are simply using the surname. Click, Aubrey, fine, Bam, Morawitz. But here, because you are saying that what these people say, and the first time you are using them, you are quoting them, so that's why you are using full name: Melissa A. Click, Jennifer Stevens Aubrey, and Elizabeth Bam Morawitz say, because three people say this answer is biased and overly simplistic, right? Overly simplistic. So there is a difference between simple and simplistic. So simplistic is like childish. So here, like, something is simple is clear to understand, but childish has a different connotation you have. So again, this is how this first paragraph is constructed. You can see a good citation here. Then you are a citation in terms of the work, those who have conducted previous studies using different perspective. At the same time, then you have used how other theoreticians like Click, Jennifer Stevens, Aubrey, and like Morawitz, what they say about this. So many things, though it's like a paragraph and a rhetorical question, you are answering to that questions, fine. So this is the starting point, and I stop here. So if you have